My husband drove all over the city to buy his childhood friend her favorite dessert. He left me, 6 months pregnant, to go to my prenatal checkup alone. After the appointment, all I wanted was for him to pick me up on his way home. Instead, he accused me of being jealous and unreasonable. Standing in the hospital as a sudden downpour began, I realized there was no point in continuing this life. So I asked for a divorce. He thought I was joking. In front of the hospital, I dialed my husband Marcus' number one more time. Marcus, let's get a divorce. Have your lawyer draft. I was cut off before I could finish. He completely ignored my request. Thea, I'm very busy. Are you really going to throw a tantrum and demand a divorce over something as trivial as me not picking you up? Are you a 3-year-old? If you're bored, go buy a leopard coral grouper. Chloe wants steamed fish. Before I could reply, I heard another voice in the background. Marcus, the movie is starting. It was Chloe Vance, the same woman who, just this morning, had claimed she was scared to be alone and was craving sweets. Marcus' voice softened. But not for me. Coming. Then he hung up. I fought back the sting in my nose. It hurt. But this wasn't the first time he had ignored me, nor the first time he had claimed to be busy. The night before, I had specifically reminded him about my checkup and asked him to make time for me. Busy, he had said. Thea, a prenatal checkup is something you can handle on your own. The company is swamped. And Chloe is newly divorced and pregnant. Can't you be more considerate? You're 6 months along. Can't you take care of yourself? I only see Chloe as a sister. What's the point of you being so petty and jealous all the time? It was absurd. Chloe wasn't even his sister. She was pregnant. But so was I. Wasn't it enough that I had let her move in with us? Did he need to take care of her in our bed, too? But I didn't argue. I didn't want to fight. I still wanted to give our baby a perfect home. That morning, just before I left, Chloe had called Marcus, crying that she was scared and wanted a specific, hard-to-get egg tart. Marcus, who was supposed to be in a meeting, had dropped everything to go and buy them for her. I loved those tarts, too, and was a regular customer. The owner recognized Marcus from my social media photos. He messaged me right after Marcus left, gushing about what a loving husband I had, waiting 2 hours for a fresh batch just for me. He said he envied my happiness. At that moment, I was standing outside the obstetrician's office, clutching my test results. I felt a confusing mix of emotions. I had planned to take a taxi home, but the sky suddenly opened up. The dessert shop was on his way home from the office. It would have been easy for him to pick me up, so I called him. All I got was an impatient tirade. Parking at the hospital is a nightmare. Can't you just wait for a taxi? Why do I have to come? What if Chloe gets scared waiting alone at home for too long? When did you become so manipulative? You have no sense of proportion. I sat in the hospital lobby, listening to the dial tone. And for some reason, the tears just started to fall. A security guard, noticing I'd been sitting there for a long time, kindly asked if I needed help. But my husband, in name, was busy delivering freshly baked tarts to another woman. Watching the people come and go, listening to the rain, I suddenly felt that there was no point in forcing myself to go on. I sat in that lobby all afternoon. The rain never let up. When I finally got home, my shoes and the hem of my dress were soaked. Through the French doors, I could see Marcus and Chloe laughing at the dining table. The cook, Mrs. Gable, gasped when I walked in. "Ma'am, you're all wet. You'll catch a cold." Marcus glanced up, then casually placed a piece of fish in Chloe's bowl. "What happened? You're a grown woman. Can't you take care of yourself? Go change. Chloe and I have been waiting for you." Chloe smiled. "Thea, you're being childish. Getting your clothes wet. Hurry and change. The food will get cold." I looked at the table. 5 dishes and a soup, all Chloe's favorites, including the fish he had casually ordered me to buy. A quarter of the food was already gone. They hadn't waited for me at all. Marcus tried to help me, but I pulled away. His hand hovered in the air, his expression confused. "Thea, what's wrong? Since you already bought the fish, why didn't you tell me?" He seemed to finally remember that he had sent his heavily pregnant wife out to the supermarket. Then, having grown impatient, he had just ordered it online. He looked relieved, as if it were no big deal. "You were late. I forgot to tell you. Anyway, you didn't buy it, so there's no need to be upset." In that instant, A montage of memories flashed through my mind. The diamond ring he gave me when he proposed, a symbol of his singular devotion. His wedding vow to spend a lifetime with me. His joy when we first found out I was pregnant. All of it shattered into painful fragments the moment Chloe arrived. The red rose had become a smear of mosquito blood on the wall. He had been good to me, but only before she came back. Between Chloe and me, he would always choose her. Just like 3 days ago, with the strawberry tarts I had spent hours in line to buy. Chloe wanted a sweet. And just like that, he gave my favorite treat to her. I pulled away from his touch and went to our room. The door, left ajar, let their voices drift in. Marcus, I think Thea's upset. Maybe I should move out. You're my sister. Don't be ridiculous. Besides, in your condition, where would you go? Just stay here. Thea's pregnant. It's probably just the hormones making her emotional. She'll understand. But what if she gets sick from being out in the rain? What if it affects the baby she wants? Thea is strong. She loves me. And she loves our baby. She knows her limits. Don't worry about it. I heard every word. I changed into dry clothes and sat down at the table. My heart felt cold, unnervingly calm. Since he hadn't taken my request for a divorce seriously, since he thought I was being manipulative, then he couldn't blame me for what I was about to do. First, I needed to find a place to have this baby. I had carried him for 6 months. I wasn't about to let Marcus have him. By the time I sat down, Marcus and Chloe were nearly finished eating. Marcus helped her to the living room, leaving me alone at the table. I could hear them laughing and joking, their bodies close. I stared at the leftovers. I was tempted to throw a fit and not eat, but my body was my own. Marcus was too busy with Chloe to care about me. In the end, I would be the only one to suffer. Why should I do that to myself? Mrs. Gable, Marcus called out. Bring out those tarts for my wife. She brought a small plate of blueberry tarts and set it in front of me. Thea, you wanted these, didn't you? You were so upset when Chloe ate the last ones. She bought these for you. You should thank her. He said it so matter-of-factly. But these weren't the tarts I wanted. The ones I had bought were a limited edition strawberry flavor from a private bakery. Something I had been craving for weeks. These were generic blueberry tarts you could get from any delivery app. They weren't even the ones he had bought this morning. The crust was already soft, and there were only 5. She had eaten one, and I was supposed to be grateful. Just like his love, I was only allowed the scraps that fell through his fingers as he showered his affection on Chloe. I was raised to be a cherished daughter. Why should I have to endure this? I finished my rice in silence, then took the plate of tarts and set it on the coffee table in the living room. Thea, what is the meaning of this? Chloe was curled up in his arms, her bare feet tucked under her, his arm casually around her shoulder. She looked at me with a flicker of confusion, as if their intimate posture was perfectly normal. If she hadn't deliberately leaned her head against his shoulder as I approached, I might have believed she was simply clueless. Chloe bought those for you. Even if you don't like them, you don't have to embarrass her like this. We're family. Why? I cut him off. You're overthinking it, Marcus. I just don't want them. I thought you two might. A flash of embarrassment crossed his face. Well, then sit down and watch the movie with us. Don't block the screen. I looked at him, as if at a stranger. No, thank you. I'm not feeling well. You two enjoy. By the way, Marcus, I'm thinking of going away for a while. He frowned. Go where? In your condition. Stay home and wait for the baby to be born. Then I can take you wherever you want. Be good. Don't be willful. Chloe is also pregnant. What if something happens to her while I'm away? She can't be left alone. I'm not asking you to come with me. I'm just letting you know, so you don't call me about a fish and have to wait for hours. I didn't miss the flicker of glee on Chloe's face. She even voiced her support for my trip, which is the only reason he didn't argue further. Back in my room, I called my lawyer. Charles, I need you to liquidate my assets. This house, this life, I didn't want it. They could have it. The next day, Marcus announced he was taking Chloe to an amusement park to cheer her up. I was to stay home. My condition, he said, made such a place too dangerous. The irony was not lost on me. With them out of the house, I was free to pack. I didn't notice that the layout of the closet had changed. I turned and bumped into a cabinet that was usually in the corner. I fell hard. A sharp pain shot through my lower abdomen, followed by a warm gush of fluid. I managed to reach the landline on the table. It rang once and was answered. The background was noisy. Marcus didn't have the number saved. Marcus. I fell. You need to come back. I have to go to the hospital. If you can't come, send Mrs. Gable or the driver. There was a long pause before he recognized my voice. He didn't believe me. He thought it was another one of my games. Thea, how could you have fallen? First the tarts, then the trip. When are you going to stop with these petty games? I've told you 100 times. Chloe is just my sister. Marcus. I'm not joking. I can't move. I was on the floor. The pain immobilizing me. I clutched the phone like a lifeline. But he was unmoved. I'm busy. I don't have time for this. If you really fell, call an ambulance. I'm not a doctor. Why are you calling me? Marcus. What's wrong? Is that Thea? Chloe's voice, feigning innocence, came through the line. It's nothing. She says she fell. Let's keep going. How could she have fallen? I thought she was packing for her trip. Maybe we should go back and check. Her words only confirmed his belief that I was faking it. He hung up and blocked the number. I lay there, feeling life drain out of me. The despair suffocating. An image of them at the amusement park, happy and in love, flashed in my mind. The rage that followed gave me a final burst of strength. I managed to crawl to the living room, but the house was empty. Just as I thought it was over for me and my baby, I heard a thud at the door, followed by a scream. Ma'am, what happened? Someone call an ambulance. Then, everything went black. Pregnant woman. Severe hemorrhaging. Prepare for emergency surgery. When I regained consciousness, I was blinded by a bright white light. I grabbed at a passing figure. My baby? Where is my baby? Well, do everything we can. Please. Try to rest. The figure left. My consciousness was fading, but I could see a doctor handing a form to Mrs. Gable. I could even hear their conversation. We need a family member to sign the consent form. Mrs. Gable's hand trembled as she took the pen. I am not her family. I'm just the housekeeper. Where is her family? The doctor demanded, incredulous. Mrs. Gable clutched her phone, helpless. I don't know where the master is. I can't reach him. I just came in to cook dinner and found her in a pool of blood. The doctor took Marcus' number and called him from the front desk. On the 5th try, he answered. Your wife is having a miscarriage with severe bleeding. We need your consent for a life-saving operation. A scoff came from the other end. Is this a joke? Did Thea put you up to this? She's really taking this too far. Tell her if she doesn't stop, there will be consequences. I'll be home early tonight. Don't call again. He hung up. The doctor, furious, took the pen and signed the form himself. We've already lost one life. We can't wait any longer. Let's go. I'll take responsibility. I survived. But my baby was gone. They told me he didn't look good when he came out. Perhaps he knew he wasn't wanted by his father and decided to go back and find a new family. Mrs. Gable was by my bedside when I woke up. Ma'am, she said, trying to comfort me. You can always have another child. The important thing now is to take care of yourself. Only I knew that there would be no more children. I transferred $50,000 to her account. If not for her, I would have bled to death. Late that night, Marcus came to the hospital. He glanced at my still swollen abdomen, then at my pale face, and sighed with relief. Thank God you're all right. Can you be more careful? Do you have any idea how scared Chloe was when we came home and saw all that blood? She nearly went into premature labor. I think you should cancel your trip. We can all go together after the baby is born. It will be easier for me to take care of you then. He still thought the baby was alive. A doctor came in with my chart, but Marcus took a call and left. I could hear a woman's sobs through the phone. Chloe was scared again. She needed her brother, someone else's husband, to comfort her. For the next 2 weeks, I didn't see Marcus. He was photographed sharing an ice cream cone with Chloe, and the tabloids had a field day. He called and demanded that I issue a clarification. I ignored him. He hired a PR firm to clean up the mess. See, he didn't need me for everything. He just wanted me to fight his battles for him. When I was discharged, I had Mrs. Gable bring me a few things from the Villamy documents and bank cards. I needed to get away. I went abroad. In the villa I rented, I ran into the doctor who had signed my consent form. He had been fired for it. I offered to compensate him, but he refused. 3 months later, Marcus finally realized I was gone. He had filed a missing persons report, and the police gave him my new number. He sent me a photo, a cleverly angled shot of me and the doctor, making it look like we were kissing. "Thea, what have you been doing for the past 3 months?" he roared when I answered his call. "Cheating on me, while pregnant, with some boy toy. So what if I am?" I retorted. "You're allowed to have a sister, but I can't have a brother. Is that how it works?" "Marcus, Chloe is my sister. It's not the same as you fooling around with other men. I've never seen a 25-year-old pregnant woman who needs her brother to hold her and sing her to sleep. A lover, maybe? I have plenty of security footage of you too. I can post it online. Let the world decide. We are not finished. When I get back, we will have a long talk." I hung up first. When my plane landed a month later, he was waiting for me. "I can't believe you took our child just to spite me. Where is he?" "You have no right to keep my child from me." "Don't worry," I said. "You'll see him." He was obsessed with the child I had been carrying. It was his first, and he had been so excited. But that was before Chloe. After she arrived, with her own baby, he had neglected his own son, who was now gone from this world. And he didn't even know. "What game are you playing now?" he grumbled as we drove. "You were never so manipulative before." "We're going home," he announced. "You love me too much to actually cheat." "I know that." As we pulled up to the villa, I got out of the car. "What now?" he sighed. "I'm already being generous by not holding this against you." I laughed. No wonder Chloe had played him for a fool. "Marcus, I thought you were just cheap. But you're actually just stupid. I sent the divorce and asset division papers a month ago. Do you have any objections?" He looked confused. He really thought I had come back to reconcile. "Go look for them. Maybe Chloe put them somewhere safe for you. I'll wait for you at the coffee shop down the street. You can bring her if you want. But I can be quite cutting. I wouldn't want her to get upset." He returned a short time later, his face dark. "You want a divorce. And 90% of the assets. Are you insane? You're the one who cheated. I will never agree to a divorce. You want to take my money and my child and raise him with another man. Not a chance." He was no longer the suave, polished man I had known. He was just a pathetic, greedy little man. "Then we'll see you in court." Just then, Chloe appeared behind him, her belly swollen. The sight was a dagger to my heart. "Thea, it's all my fault," she cried, about to kneel. "Don't divorce him. It's not fair to either of you." He stopped her. "Chloe, I told you to rest." "Of course she came," I said coolly. "She can't risk losing her meal ticket." "Thea, apologize to Chloe. Why don't you ask her why her mother married your father?" I threw a stack of documents on the table, proof that Chloe's mother had been a gold digger who had nearly bankrupted his family before I stepped in. I also had proof that Chloe had never actually divorced her husband. She had been using Marcus' money to support him for the past 6 months. "And about the hospital," I added, my voice like ice. "Someone died that day. Your son, Marcus. Your own flesh and blood. And you were coddling her." I had reviewed the security footage. Chloe had gone into my closet and moved the cabinet. She had tried to kill me. "Chloe is not capable of such a thing," he roared. "You fell." He stopped, his eyes widening. "The baby is gone." "How can he be gone?" "The doctor tried to tell you. But you were on the phone with Chloe. Your son." "No, Marcus. He was my son." He stared at the evidence, at Chloe's tearful denials, at the security footage of her sneaking into my closet, at the recordings of her and her husband plotting to take over his fortune. It was sure to be a dramatic scene, but I had no desire to watch. I left the evidence and walked out. He could have his dogfight. I sued for divorce. Since he wouldn't sign, I would take everything. Before the judgment came through, Chloe's real husband sued Marcus, and he was arrested. In a confrontation, Chloe fell and lost her baby. Her husband then tried to sue Marcus for a share of our marital assets, but I had already frozen everything. Marcus tried to contact me, but I never answered. From the moment he chose the amusement park over me, there was nothing left to say. One day, he appeared at the gate of my new villa. He was a mess, his clothes wrinkled, his face unshaven. "Thea, these are our joint assets. You can't control them," he yelled, trying to climb the gate. "We're not divorced yet." He was halfway up when the security system activated. An electric shock sent him tumbling to the ground. Thea, my leg is broken. Call an ambulance. I picked up the phone and called security. Before they arrived, I looked at him and repeated the words he had said to me so many times. How could you be so careless? I'm kinder than you are. You didn't call for help for me, but I've called security for you. You don't have to thank me. I never saw him again. I heard he was left with a permanent limp and served a year in prison. Chloe was convicted of attempted murder and joined him there. My parents, who had long since emigrated, called when they heard the news. They told me, as they always had, that they would support me no matter what. Love yourself, they said, their final words before hanging up. Perhaps I would think of those words often in the days to come. To love yourself is the most important thing in life. Others may betray your heart, but you never will.